Mike here for Panther Hollow Sporting Optics. As promised, we've done a head-to-head with these two guns. It looks like Rim wants in on the video as well. This is my 280 target. We're looking at all these targets together here in a little while. But these targets have a lot in common, group-wise. They're all about the same. These hand loads that were developed without the tuner, and then you put the tuner on, and then things got to go haywire, and you'll see that in the video. So without any further ado, we're going to get out to the shop. We're going to shoot these two guns against each other, and then we're going to come back for final thoughts. Stand by. All right, guys, we're here in the shop. We've got the budget build. This is a Howa 1500 with a proof, not a proof research, a preferred barrel on it. It's a lighter profile. We're going to shoot a baseline down there. We're going to screw the EC tuner on. We're going to turn it, set it at 0, turn it a quarter, then a half, and then a whole turn, and see if it makes any difference on this gun right here. These are the loads that Bob, the guy that I bought this from, he made a comment on the last video. He worked these loads up. We're going to try these loads, and we're going to try a few different loads just to see, just to have some fun. Then we're going to take my 6.5 that I shoot for PRS. We'll set it up here, and we're going to do the same thing with it. We are using the EP5, and while we're shooting, we're going to talk about the EP5, and we're going to talk about my Night Force NX8, kind of the differences there, okay? So Zach's going to shoot this guy, and I'm going to shoot my gun, and we're going to go from there. Stand by.
One hole.
Are you serious? Okay, that works.
Not too bad.
It's not bad. So what we're seeing down there, guys, is them loads shot pretty good. So we're gonna put the EC tuner on now. See if we can get some movement out of it. Should be on 0. All right, guys, we got the EC tuner on here, and we're going to continue to shoot here. So it's set on 0, and so we'll shoot the 0. We'll do a quarter, a half, and a full turn, and see what the groups look like. Stand by.
Jeez, dude. I mean, they're touching.
Are they?
Yeah, but it changed that point of impact way. I'll let you look at that. It's got one low.
Shot one low.
See how much difference that made?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the group doesn't. The group sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it looks worse than the.
We're gonna go a quarter turn now.
I think it was worse than the first group.
Okay, it is definitely worse. That's a quarter turn.
So we'll try that.
See what that does for you.
And that's a quarter turn out.
Quarter turn out.
Yeah. Still high right there.
Still high right?
Yep.
How much did it change the recoil?
It changed the recoil pretty significantly. It's a lot louder for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. About as unimpressive as the first group.
Worse?
No, about the same.
About the same? This is going to be half turn.
Okay.
There's a half turn right there. Is it on the paper?
Yeah, I shot the mark that says 1/2.
Oh, okay.
So that windage call is good. A little bit of horizontal dispersion. The vertical looks really good, but I don't know if that's me or the brake.
Huh, that's interesting. Guys, it's changing the group, but now note that we did turn this so that we were more left of our point of impact, because we needed to go left or we would have been back in the center of the first group, or that quarter turn group, right? Okay guys, that's a whole turn out. It's a whole turn. We're back on 0, a whole turn out. Let's see what that looks like. What do you think about that scope, Zach?
I like the reticle. I think the glass quality, not super clear. I have a hard time reading the letters on that paper, and there's a lot of mirage even at 100 yards here. But I can see the orange just fine. I don't think you'd have a problem shooting steel with it. But it's kind of hard to make out the finer details with.
So how would you put it against the scope? What scope are you running?
My Strike Eagle?
Yeah.
I think the Strike Eagle would be worth the extra little bit of money if you want that clarity. But if you're just looking at feature set, they're not super different.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, I think just about every single one of those groups, there's 2 touching with 1 flyer. And the group without the tuner on it at all were 3 touching, so I'll let you check that one out.
Okay. So there's not a single group out there that's better than the group. I mean, you could probably go through the load process and redevelop a load, but in my mind, if you've got a good load and you throw the tuner on there, I mean, in my mind, I think you'd make it better, right? I mean, that's the whole pretense, right? You wouldn't have to develop a load with the tuner on. I guess that's my issue, because that's what I'm seeing downrange. I'm seeing that you'd have to develop a load with the tuner, but then we got these flyers that, I don't know, let's try the 6.5. Okay guys, I can tell you straight up, I can read everything down there through this scope. What I hand wrote down there, I can read easily. I could not read that through the Orchid. Now, this scope is $2,000. That scope's $500. So the guys that say that the arcing is as clear as a night force. And you check this out and see what you're thinking, Zach.
Yeah. Now I've looked through the scope of range. I haven't really paid attention to this at 100 yards. Yeah, 100% whenever you have the parallax. I get a little bit of that mirage still, but it doesn't wash out the letters.
Right.
There were points on that 100-yard target based on the brightness or where the sun was at or where the clouds were at today that I could or could not read the letters on this target. But the glass clarity cuts that mirage well enough that it doesn't wash out your letters. I mean, when I was zeroing with the EP5, I almost couldn't spot a shot on the red paper, and I could see every single one of those through this.
I got you.
But
so guys, we're just telling you what we see. It's hard to tell people about scopes and you do a video through them or whatever. You really need to be here firsthand and look through the scopes yourself, and you can see the difference. It's blatantly obvious. So I'm gonna shoot, these are RDFs. I got reloader 16 underneath them with a small rifle primer. And we're gonna see how they do. Let me turn my scope back down here to 0. Make sure we're on 0 here. We're on 0 here. My scope is level. And let's see what we do now. We'll get a baseline with this one. We'll take that big bastard break off and we'll put the tuner on, see what happens. Stand by. About what I expected. It's under a ½ inch down there. Okay, we're going to take the APA off, which is going to hurt my feelings, and we're going to put the Zach already had a wrench in his hand. He's like, take it off of there now. All right, we got to go back to tuner setting 0 here. Hey guys, I don't know how much that video we lost there, but we've got the downrange camera running. We've got the EC tuner on this guy now. We took the big bastard off. I've got a group down there already. I just started shooting my 0, so on the tuner setting. So we'll go back to that here. It threw that shot way, it's about an inch left, an inch high. Holy balls. That's not good at all. All right, going to quarter turn out. Okay, there's some promise. There's some promise. Put this next one right in there. Okay. We got 2 in the same hole and 1 outside. So, It's doing something different on this gun, so let's go a half turn. I don't like that setting either. Yeah, that's not good at all. And the recoil is not as manageable. This APA does a better job of managing recoil. Now we're back to a full turn. Well, guys, you're seeing what's going on down there. All right, just to prove a point, we're going back to my first group up there, and we'll see the big bastard's back where it needs to be. Holy balls. I think I pulled one there pretty good, boys. Let me go back to that. I don't know if I didn't get that tight enough or what's going on. We got something wrong now. Yeah, it went back. I didn't have it tight enough, that's what it was.
I got you.
So guys, lesson learned there. I didn't have that brake tight enough on the end there. I didn't have it quite level. Didn't have my gun quite level on those other two shots, and you see them go out there. I'm trying to hide anything. That's what you get switching back and forth. You gotta make sure everything's right. We're just doing it kind of halfway here. That load is good for this rifle. I've checked it several times. And you've seen what the EC tuner done. So we'll go back in the shop for some final thoughts. Stand by. All right, guys, we're back in the shop. That was pretty dang interesting. And we're gonna see what these groups look like here. What are you drinking there, bud?
Oh, you know, just some more Sunkissed. We're still not sponsored yet, by the way. Yeah, Sunkissed orange, little 6-ounce can. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Hey, that's, you know what we need to do? Since we done this and these guns shot kind of close, we need to stretch it out to, like we did that one video, 875
yeah.
or what was it, 875?
Do another tiny pop can challenge at 847.
847, yeah. So I have memory issues, so Zach is my memory bank. He remembers stuff better than I do. I think that's just part of getting old. But
it's all this orange soda I drink.
It's all the orange soda. It regenerates cells.
It does.
All right. So the Howa, if we look at this guy, I'll let you measure your groups there. Tell me what your baseline is.
All right. Baseline, I'm seeing center to center, 3/8 of an inch.
3/8. Okay.
3/8 being generous.
Then what's your zero setting?
At 0, center to center, we measure 1/2 inch.
1/2 inch. Okay. And then go ahead and go to your other quarter inch. Yeah, the quarter setting.
1/4 inch, I've got 1/2 inch.
Okay. And on your half turn setting?
Sorry, quarter turn, I had 1/2 inch on there. This one is about 5/8.
5/8. And then what's your final setting, the whole turn?
We've got 5/8 again.
5/8 again. All right. So now it's the 6.5 Creedmoor's turn. Now you guys seen these shot downrange. I hope we got all that. We haven't even looked at the video yet. So my baseline from center to center, being generous, is just under 1/2 inch. My zero setting is 3/4 of an inch. My quarter turn setting is 1/2 inch. My half turn setting is 1 inch. And my whole turn setting is 1/2 inch. So this gun shot 1/2 inch 3 times. This guy here did. 3 out of 4 or 3 out of 5 was 1/2 inch. Now you'll see the flyers in the video. That's because I didn't have that fat bastard brake all the way tight. I tightened it back up and everything went back to where it was. Now we look at the video. I shot a video with doing the same thing with my 280 AI. And my very first zero setting was 1/2 inch. My second zero setting, or my second setting on 2 was 1/2 inch. Then it opens up to 1 inch on setting 4. Setting 6 is 1/2 inch. And number 8 was 1 1/4 inches. So I started off with 1/2 inch and followed through with 1/2 inch all the way through. It did not help the groups really. That gun's a 1/2 inch gun, and it's just what it shoots. It shoots with a suppressor on, without a suppressor on, with muzzle brakes on, without a muzzle brake. All it does is change the point of impact. It still shoots the same group. So guys, I really don't know what to add to this other than, yeah, the tuner does move your groups, but if you take a known good load and you start tuning it, you're going to see your group move around, and it might eventually open up and it might close up, but it's not going to close up a whole bunch more than what you've already set that harmonic node to. So what do you think, Zach?
To be honest, my unbiased thoughts are, from my experience personally, I would spend the money that you'd spend on an AC tuner brake on a brake that works better, that's just a brake, to mitigate recoil as far as a brake goes. And then, I mean, if you're hand loading, I would buy a brake that mitigates recoil better, and then tune your load. I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody how to reload, but there are a lot of things that you can do to tighten up your groups by just loading your own ammo. If you're shooting factory ammo and you have experience with an EC tuner brake that's actually tightening the lot of ammo that you're shooting, and you've bought a whole lot of that case, or a whole case of that same lot, then I mean, by all means, go ahead. But I feel like we already wasted a lot of ammo today just trying to test the thing, and that this is exactly what you'd be doing if you were tuning the brake to your cartridge. So I mean, there's what, 3, 6, 9, 12 rounds that we could have shot, you know, close to 3/8 or 1/2 inch groups with, where we shot 1/2 inch and 5/8 groups.
Because we'd already developed the load.
Absolutely.
Correction. Bob had already developed a load.
Yeah, Bob, that group shot pretty good, actually.
Yeah, actually, Bob, we owe you an apology. So anyways, guys, as far as it being a good break, I mean, I think it did. And actually, it did. Any break you're throwing into that guy with no break is going to be an improvement, obviously.
Absolutely.
But it being a better break than the Big Bastard definitely recoil less than with this on here, the EC tuner. So just like I said, with my Magnum brake on my 280 AI, the recoil mitigation, it does give you recoil mitigation, but not as much as some of these other brakes do. It just doesn't. And the final thing we're going to talk about is the glass. So the direct comparison in glass. For me, I know I've shot an EP5 a lot. For me, the optical advantage is a big deal to me. Being able to see things that you normally couldn't see out of another scope. Now, I'm not to say that this, in its price range, this is a great scope. Don't read anything into this, okay? But it's not an NX8 4x32. It's not in the same realm. We were seeing stuff on target, or I was seeing stuff on target at 100 yards that I could not see through this scope right here. Now I'll let Zach, he's the one that shot it, so he might have a little different opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously we can tell that we shot about the same with different scopes kind of on each side of the spectrum as far as price goes. But this is basically targeted at the guys that are going to say that their EP5 is better than like an NX8 or a Razor Gen 3 or whatever like tier 1 scope that you may or may not even have looked through. You're just, I mean...
And guys, we're not bashing this at all.
Not at all.
This is a great starter scope. Starter scope. Great scope for the price. Absolutely great scope for the price. Okay?
And I mean, for what it's worth, I don't even own a scope that's worth more than $1,200. I have a Citron S3S 8-32 second focal plane, and that's the most expensive scope I own. But I've looked through quite a few high-end scopes. Being where I am now.
Remy's wanting on YouTube.
He is. So, I mean, I feel like my opinion is fairly unbiased. I really don't have a dog in the fight. And I just like to help people make justified purchases, you know?
That's kind of where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at. I think that, you know, for the money, it's going to be hard to beat this guy.
Absolutely.
But if you save up a little bit more, there's other options out there. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, I do sell Arkans. I sell quite a few of them, and guys really like them. This never had this kind of glass, right? But once you start up in this tier of glass, it's really hard to go back and say, yeah, man, this thing's where it's at. You know, that's all we're saying. Guys, I hope you liked the video. I hope you've seen how we tested and what we done. We did develop hand loads for these guns before we put the tuner on. That'd be just like if you're buying a case of ammo and the ammo shot good before you put the tuner on, and then after you put it on, you've seen whatever it does. Now, if that's your deal, buying factory ammo, I think the tuner would help. For me, what I would do is I'm going to stick with what I've got, and this here will probably be sold to somebody. It's okay for what it is, but it's not for me. And I don't think I will be using it. So guys, I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
The one where he exploded a tiny pop can again.
Oh yeah, yeah. There'll be an outtake.